So my story is a little long. Like it might be crazy long, but if you want to hear it, I'll tell it to you. Let me get the mood right. Had to get the mood right because it's a ghost story. You feel me? Ooh. All right, nah. So this was probably about like 10 years ago, maybe 11 years ago. So a good friend of mine would always ask me, did I want to go to church, or would I want to go to like Bible study? And I'm like, nah. So I would never go. So he'd ask me like a couple times, like, nah, I'm not going. I don't really want to go. Don't care. Whatever. Right. So I had a really bad year, like a really bad year. Like I think I had got my heart broken for like the first time. And you know how that first one go, you know what I'm saying? Take a while to shake that. I think my car had died, you know what I'm saying? Family member was in the hospital, couldn't get a job. Like it was a really tough year for me. So I was like, okay, I mean at this point I got nothing else to lose. You know what I'm saying? It was like a real miniature story of Job. Not to that level, but it was really, really miniature. So I was like, all right, man, I'll go to church or whatever and see what's going on with that. So I go to I think so I go to service, or it might have been the Bible study. I'm not sure which one was first. And I meet the pastor there, young dude, very charismatic. And when I tell you he was preaching that word, but he wasn't just preaching that word, he was teaching it, which was completely different. So I was like, okay, maybe I should, try to strengthen my relationship with God, because at this point it's non-existent, especially after, you know, college. You feel me? So I had went up to him and I said, man, like I really want to understand the Bible, but I can't read it. Like obviously I can read, but I don't understand what I'm reading. Obviously, because it was the King James version, I was like, I don't like reading it like that, but I don't understand it. And he gave me this version of the Bible called the Clear Word, and basically it was an easy read, so it was very easily digestible, and the stories were easier to understand. And he said, "Hey man, you remind me of the eunuch, and I think it was in the book of Acts. So the Spirit had led Philip to this chariot where the eunuch was reading, and he asked him. He said, "Yo, do you understand what you're reading?" And he said, "No, I don't. I don't really understand. I need somebody to teach me." So long story short, Philip teaches him what that particular passage was about, and then he ends up getting baptized, right? And Pastor Boston at the time, he had said that I reminded him. He had said that I reminded him of the eunuch. Keep that in mind. So I don't like I said, I don't necessarily know like how y'all like what y'all spiritual gifts are, but I can like I don't know. I have this thing where I feel like when shit is off. I know everyone says they have discernment. Like mine is insane. Like I can read a person and I can tell if like, oh, you see what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. Spiritually, I'm trying to figure out how to utilize that better, because I can feel when something's off. Like you get like this eerie feeling. So one night I was sleeping and I don't know, like I just felt like this real like eerie feeling. Like you know what I'm saying? Like something was either in there, like something was in my apartment or on me, but I felt it and I got scared, right? And you know, you watch all those, those exorcism movies and all those like horror movies, and you're like, man, they do everything, but try calling on Jesus. So I was like, I give it a shot. So I prayed and I asked Jesus to say, hey man, um, and I wasn't asking for a sign or anything, but I was like, hey, like I need you to help me. I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of scared, but basically like get that out of here. And after I got done praying, I felt like this. Like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like this calmness, like this. It felt like a really really warm hug, like in here, and it was just like I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe the feeling. So in that moment, I was like, oh, okay, if I needed a sign or if I needed to understand that any of that was real, that was like my first that was like my first run in with Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So I wake up the next morning. Obviously, I tell my brother about it because he's more in the faith than I am, and I'm like, hey, you know, like we got to start going to church. So fast forward a couple weeks, I'm at home, and I'm still I still want to understand the Bible. So I'm reading it, and I'm still not really getting it. Obviously, I have the clear word, but I want to read the King James Version, and I want to understand. Not only do I want to understand, I want to learn about Daniel. I didn't read nothing, never read the Bible cover to cover before. So I wanted to learn about Daniel. I wanted to learn about Jeremiah. I wanted to learn about all these prophets, right? So I'm like, God, I'm having trouble understanding this. So I get to praying. I'm like, God, I don't understand this. Like, I need help trying to understand it. Like, I want to understand how to read this thing because I'm still kind of confused. And I think like 30 minutes later, I get a knock on the door. So you know how growing up, our parents always was like, don't answer the door for Jehovah Witnesses and stuff like that. So I get a knock on the door, and obviously I look through the peephole, and I seen them, and I knew what time it was. Like I knew they was Jehovah Witnesses, but I'm like, the the slight chance of them knocking on my door was crazy. So I open up the door, and I was like, hey, I didn't even let them say anything. I said, hey, how come no one ever answers the door for y'all? And nice dude, my boy, his name was Gary. He said, honestly, we don't really know. We just, try to spread the word, and whoever wants to receive it, cool. If not, we're just going about our day. I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. I said, so y'all be teaching y'all be teaching people how to read and stuff? He like, yeah. Like, do you know about the good news? I said, yeah, bro, I'm already in it. I said, I'm in here trying to read it. The issue is I don't understand it. I said, but if y'all could teach me how to interpret it, then y'all could come in and chop it up. So they come in. So they come in, and basically they had a whole bunch of material, and they're telling me you have to interpret scripture with scripture. And like, yeah, a lot of people would pull one verse and then try to go off that, but with every verse in the Bible there's another verse that goes with it. So there might be something that happened in the Old Testament. There's also something in the New Testament that goes along with that verse. So he then told me, he said, hey man, you remind me of that eunuch in the Bible. I got baptized that next week.